portion of the lesson, where does it go? After the modeling, I wanted my students to have practice going through the steps of the distributive property. So I asked them to pair up with their neighbor, and they work their way through solving problems using base 10s and the distributive property. 15? Why would you need 15?
What are you gonna answer?
Count 15. How many is 15? What is your answer first? Write it down on the
You
paper.
go by teams. Team 20.
So that's how you just talk about it. Just talk about what you did to solve it. That's it. Okay. So would you use 15 tens to make the number 15?
No.
Oh, no.
Because 10 is more than 15.
Yeah,
No.
more than, yeah, it is more than 15. So what would you do? How many tens do you have? What number's in the tens place? Circle the number in the tens place. Which number's in the tens place? So how many of those base tens do you need? One. So you put all the other ones back. So then how many you need to, what do you need to make the 5? What place is that in?
The 1.
Right here. We're working with the product only. So then what do you need? 5 what? 5 of these or 5 ones?
5 1.
So let me see 5 ones. Now let me ask you a question. Would you be multiplying 5 times 3 or 5 times 30?
5 times 30.
Why? Because the 3 is where?
Because you put a 0 with the 3.
Yes.
That's at 5.
Yes. So the base 10s allowed them to see how the numbers, the 10s, were actually broken down into smaller units, and the distributive property allowed them to break the problem up. So instead of them multiplying 1 digit times 2 digit, it broke it up to 1 digit times 1 digit, something simpler so they could understand. Well, from the beginning of the lesson, I demonstrated how to do it, and then we engaged in active conversation. So throughout the lesson, it was like a gradual release, me scaffolding them through, so they would be able to end up doing it and explaining it on their own. And with some children, using the models helped them to see actually how the problem is working in the inside. So a lot of my students really rely on that extra step, breaking it down so they can understand it a little bit better.